the attacks on free speech now, they're getting so stupid that you've got to laugh. And I mean that. I mean, laughter now is the best weapon against these maniacs. As in, you're joking, you're a clown, you really want to do this? I mean, you take, for instance, some of the new rules imposed by our very woke universities. They're supposed to be into, debate, they're closing it down. The Institute of Public Affairs has done a survey of these new rules, and it really is comic. I mean, joining me is the author of that survey, Brianna McKee, the IPA's National Manager for Generation Liberty, which is a reach out to university students in particular. Brianna, great to see you. Now, look, your report found that more than half our universities have rules against a speech that might offend, which is terrible if you want debates, because who don't you offend by challenging their ideas? And overall, you say, policies against free speech have increased by 117% in 7 years. There is a real cultural change going on in our universities, isn't there?
No, you're right, Andrew. There is a real cultural change going on in our universities, but I think you might have to watch yourself on the jokes and laughter, because La Trobe University has a policy for you and it defines jokes as bullying. So they might have you there. But yes, there's a free speech crisis on university campuses, and it's been getting worse. And the IPA, we've been researching this since 2016. In 2018, we had a win. The government commissioned the free speech code. He commissioned former Justice Robert French. He made the free speech code. The government asked universities to implement it. And this was a step in the right direction. But universities clearly haven't listened. IPA analysis just out today shows that a third of universities have not included the 6 pro-free speech criteria that are actually in the French Model Code. And I think the key issue here is you have vague and subjective terms in university policies, and these are being weaponised by activists to censor speech.
Oh, Brianna, you just knew as soon as the cat's away, the mice will play. The Liberals lost, and the universities are going full bore on this stuff. I love some of your examples. I mean, they are comically stupid, even though there's now a rule, apparently you can't laugh or show sarcasm. For instance, the University of Wollongong, this is a beauty, tells students to avoid words like man, ladies, mothering, fathering, and wife. Why is that?
Well, increasingly what we're seeing in universities is they're committing to these ideological policies, and this is increasing the culture of censorship on campus. And IPA research shows that every university actually has a policy or a strategic commitment, there are 77 in total, to ideological causes like gender equity, like Indigenous affairs, like climate change. And what we're seeing here is the rise of the social justice university, and it signals a new emphasis on activism over education. And universities are trying to bow to 2 masters, knowledge production and also activist causes, but they're censoring speech in the process.
Well, another one of these rules that strikes me as really sinister, as well as racist, Central Queensland University tells students to avoid direct verbal confrontation and expressing disagreement with Aborigines to preserve consensus. Now, that is so extremely patronising of Aborigines, like, oh, they can't handle, having their errors corrected, say, or can't handle the debate. And apparently that means, given the universities call Bruce Pascoe professor, nor can you tell Pascoe has got his facts wrong and is misquoting wildly. This is just so bad.
It is bad, and it would definitely seem that way, that Bruce Pascoe would not be able to be disagreed with. But I think there's a broader cultural implication here, and that is that universities are failing to protect free speech on campus, but this threatens the core purpose of universities, which is to challenge, to debate, to have these intellectual clashes of ideas. And it also is challenging the future of democratic institutions, which is to have the free flow of ideas in the public square. It relies on that. And so the contest of ideas is the very essence of university life, but also political life in liberal democracies. So I think what we're seeing is the war for the future of the West is an ideological one, and it's being fought on university campuses.